This is Billy Silicon from Global Conference Television, changing the world one inspired and transformed person at a time.
Please keep watching Global Conference TV.
Please keep watching Global Conference Television.
You are watching Global Conference Television.
Changing the world
One inspired
and transformed person at a time.
So, Rory was the former chief of security for the president, Nelson Mandela. He also served as the security liaison for the New Zealand All Blacks during the 1995 Rugby World Cup, which we all remember with such fond memories. In 2001, he published a memoir, One Step Behind Mandela, the story of Rory Steyn, Nelson Mandela's chief bodyguard, co-authored with Deborah Patter, who we know. He retired from the SAPS in July 1999 with the rank of Lieutenant Colonel and set up his own security consultancy with his partner, Bob Nichols. Nichols Steyn and Associates is South Africa's largest executive protection employer, counting Fortune 500 and blue chip companies amongst their clients. Nichols Steyn and Associates are currently security consultants to Cricket South Africa and to the highly successful Indian Premier League, as well as the recently established Indian Super League soccer tournament. Rory has completed, this is why he is my hero, wait for it, 12 Comrades Marathons. Please, that's a round of applause, sir. He's married to Gillian, who's a phenomenal school teacher. They have 3 sons, Kyle, Ian, and Craig, and Kyle, his son, and my daughter are at varsity together in Stellenbosch. And one day they may get married, and then we will be related forever.
Guys, thank you very much, Yvonne, and everybody else, Billy, for the invitation to address you. It's my pleasure to be here, and I am going to do something. I'm going to try and give you a flavor for the talks that I can do, because I can mix and match them. I have numerous stories about our beloved Madiba to tell, and I love talking about them. It's easy for me to talk about it, firstly, and secondly, I think it's important that we don't forget the lessons that he taught us, and that's kind of what I use. I use what did I learn from Madiba, serving him for 5 years and seeing very up close and very personally how he changed our nation. He certainly changed me very profoundly. So let's start at the end. I'm sure all of you can remember exactly where you were on the 5th of December 2013. I can tell you exactly where I was. I was at the Wanderers. There was an international match played there between us and the Aussies. I can't remember whether it was an ODI or a T20. It was a white ball game. And I got home at about 10:30, and I was literally pulling the bed covers back when the phone rang. And I looked at it, thinking, who? And the name came up, Deborah Patter. Joni mentioned her, my co-author, and she said, I said, Debs, what's up? She said, what have you heard? I said, what are you talking about? What have you heard? And she said to me, I've heard he's gone. And I just remember going completely cold and calm and saying, I'll get back to you. I placed a few strategic text messages. I got a cryptic answer saying, get ready, there's an announcement coming, so I knew. And less than an hour later, our president announced to the nation, and in fact to the entire world, that Madiba had left us. I knew the next day was going to be completely crazy. So I put my phone on silent, I shoved it under the bed, I pushed a continental pillow in there, and I could hear it going zzz. And so it proved to be. The following morning, I did my first interview at 5:45, live on TV, and every radio station phoned during the course of the day. And that evening, it was a Friday, Madiba passed away on a Thursday. Friday, the 6th of December 2013, was my 50th. And my middle son was the MC. He said, Dad, you know, what are we going to do? I said, my boy, I don't claim to speak for Madiba ever. But I said to him, my sense is that if the old man were here, he would have wanted us to get on and have a blooming good party. So let's do the right thing. Ask everybody to be upstanding. We'll have a minute's silence. We'll do the correct thing and show our respect. But then we're going to get on and have a party, which we did. You were there, Joni, and it was a great evening.
And he did also beautifully.
Yeah, properly tired, but we had a fantastic day. And guys, you will remember that we went through those 10 or 11 days of collective mourning as a nation. I kind of knew the plan. The plan had been there for 12, 14 years. The president would announce it. There would be a memorial service. The body would lie in state at the Union buildings for 3 days. There'd be a private family ceremony in Qunu in the Eastern Cape where he will be finally laid to rest. And then, you know, life will continue. And I'm sure you'll agree. We'd been expecting it, but it was still a shock. But how long did it take, guys? Maybe 24 hours for our grief to turn to celebration of a truly extraordinary life. And we saw that in many ways. So on that Thursday, the Thursday after the Tuesday where we had that bizarre blooming interpreter at the memorial service in the rain at FNB Stadium, I took my family to the airport and I waved goodbye to them. We had planned a family holiday skiing in Italy. And I said goodbye to them and I could see these apprehensive looks coming back at me from my kids thinking, gee, Dad, are you going to join us? Because I changed my flights and cancelled them to rather leave on the Sunday after the funeral in Qunu. And I didn't go to the memorial service because I knew I would be working on the day of the funeral itself. And now, you know, we talk about closure, guys. On this Saturday, before the funeral in the Transkei, we were invited, we as the former protection unit were invited to the sending off ceremony when Madiba's body was flown in his casket, draped in the national flag, as it had lain in state for the previous 3 days. It was flown by the Air Force from Waterkloof Air Force Base to Mthatha. And while the proceedings were carrying on in this hangar, and the entire VIP contingent of the Republic of South Africa was there. Everybody. From the president to Winnie. The family and all of the bigwigs of the ANC. And we were called up 10 at a time while, as I said, proceedings continued. And we stood 5 on either side of that casket, just with our own private thoughts and memories for about 2 minutes. We were just left to stand there with our heads bowed, looking at that coffin. And I really appreciated that privilege, that invitation to be there and form part of that guard of honor. And what made it so special was because we were invited. Normally when we were around Madiba, we were working. And there wasn't time to worry about all the goings on and everything that was happening around us, the pomp and ceremony and the rest. Because you do that, you take your eye off the ball, you're not doing your job. I saw that same casket come past me up the hill from that magnificent ceremony in that big 4,000-seater marquee. Here comes the casket on a gun carriage up the hill to the final resting site, goes down into the ground. And I thought, okay, maybe that's it. Maybe that's the closure that I've looked for, because now his body is returned, soil to soil, dust to dust, ashes to ashes, and all that.
My name is Adele Durant. I'm the Habits Sensei, helping you to use your habits to create success. You are watching Global Conference Television.
Changing the world, one inspired
And transformed person at a time.
This is Billy Selegan from Global Conference Television, changing the world one inspired and transformed person at a time.
Please keep watching Global Conference TV.
Please keep watching Global Conference Television.
You are watching Global Conference Television.
Changing the world
One inspired
And transformed person at a time.